Welcome to The Voiceover with your host, D. Foster III, where we discuss relevant topics that affect the culture with bold, independent commentary. Get ready to be inspired, enlightened, and encouraged.
Welcome to the Voiceover Now podcast. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and follow. I'm your host, D. Foster III, CEO and President of Wake Up Global Networks International. And right now, right here, I want you to go into your contacts and share this show. Listen, we're going to end a show on a blast with I ain't denouncing nothing. And if you ain't heard it, I ain't going back. You got to go back to the other 3 shows. Listen, at the beginning of the show, I want to say thank you for all of those of you who are becoming our weekly family. If you're watching it live on Friday, what's going on? Hope you had a great week. And want to say shout out to the replay crew. Replay, that's right. Thank God for the replay. You know, years ago, you had to either TiVo it or catch it live. But now we got the replay crew. Want to say shout out to the replay crew. Make sure you like this. Make sure you subscribe. I want to hear from you. Listen. The Voice Over the Globe at gmail.com. The Voice Over the Globe at gmail.com. I want to hear from you, and I want some suggestions of some shows you would like me to do. You know, this is the place if you like it and it fits Friday, good. Like Friday happy hour, straight no chaser. That's what we do here on the Voice Over Now. Now, if you want all that gray area, if you want all that if you want all that other stuff, then you have to go somewhere else. But if you like it straight no chaser, educational, inspirational, humorous, then you are at the right place at the right time. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you know when we upload brand new content every week. Listen, before I get started, I got a few housekeeping announcements. Of course, did you catch the Voice Over Today audio podcast every Wednesday at 12 noon? For the next couple of weeks, I'm dedicating those shows to my big brother and his transition, Coach James Butch McAdams. If you listened last week, you know I started. I'm going to be playing excerpts of our radio interviews. Listen, I was blessed to have Coach on my podcast. I was blessed he's a legend. He's a legend. He's the last of the legends. There's Bernie McCain. There's Joe Madison. There's C. Miles. They're all transition. And Coach brought up the rear, the last of those Radio 1 straight no chaser hosts that told it like it was. Well, he passed some of the mantle on to me, and I've got it straight no chaser. And I'm going to be playing excerpts for the next couple of Wednesdays on the Voice Over Today audio podcast. So make sure you go. It's right here on WPB Media Networks where you can listen live. And I'm going to actually be playing the interviews and playing some of the wisdom that Coach gave me as his little brother. And I'm going to be talking about that. And so half of this show is dedicated to me finishing up about the Divine Nine. And then the last half, I'm going to bring some honor and some salutes to my big brother and give the arrangements of his final farewell services that will happen on tomorrow. And if you stay tuned to the end, I'll give that to you. I was so honored and blessed to be in the life of Coach James Butch McAdams. And he would tell everybody everywhere, that's my little brother. He honored me in my ministry. He called me Bishop. He didn't have to. I never really heard him call me by my first name. And of course, he had the liberty to, but he always honored me as Bishop, and then told everywhere, whether it was his first Fridays or wherever we went, I want you to meet my little brother, Bishop Darnell Johnson III. And I would always say, that's my big brother, Coach James Butch McAdams. And I'm going to be sharing some of that as we end today. Finally, do you meet us on Sunday morning, every Sunday morning at 7 for the Voice of Hope Connection, the Voice of Hope Connection, where I give you an inspirational word to get you through the week. What's today? Friday. So last Sunday, yeah, I'll tell you, the week goes fast. I mean, hope you had a good 4th and all of that. But last Sunday was, you've got unseen backup. No matter what's going on in your life, know that there are angels out there, that God is out there making moves on your behalf, but you got to go back and get the replay. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Listen, y'all, you missing it if you ain't subscribing to all of this good stuff. I can't remember. I can't keep going back. But if you are subscribing to it, if you're liking it, if you're sharing it, then you know when we upload brand new content. Want to say shout out to April J. April J, owner and CEO of this great network, WPBMediaNetworks.com. I want to thank her for allowing us to have a voice on this platform. April J, God bless you. Thank you. May you always prosper and be successful in all that you do. From me and the Wake Up Global Network's international tribe. Now, let's get into some things. Now, I'm going to cut it short, and some of you will be glad, because I want to dedicate the last half of this show to, as I said, my big brother. But if you've been listening for the last few weeks, you know that I've been taking issue with this massive move to denounce persons' membership in their fraternity or sorority. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't have time to go back over it. Go back over the last 3 videos that I did, and you'll get a good idea of what I'm talking about. I've attempted what I've attempted to do, and think I've done a good job at doing it. I mean, just be honest with you. I don't know nobody else who's doing this like I am, right? And I have no, say, personal interest, but I'm standing on principle on this. I have attempted to be a counter voice to the many voices that are out there who have chosen to break their affiliation to their fraternity or sorority. I don't have a problem with that. All right, put a comma. But what I am taking issue with is their encouraging others to do so. Yeah, I got issue with that. I mean, if you want to go, if you got spiritual, if you got an epiphany and you said this is not for me, and I go over some of the reasons why they are giving that I take issue with, then I get that. Everybody has to make their own decisions. Everybody is grown. But what I cannot take, and what I am pushing back on, share this, is those out there who are having this epiphany, who are getting on the internet, and even some pastors who ain't even members of the Divine Nine are taking up their sides and encouraging other people to disavow or to disassociate. And I have come, oh yes, you know me, I have come as a counter voice to say, listen, think for yourself. And that's why I'm giving you the information. So if you had the opportunity to catch up, to go into my past 3 shows, I'm speaking about this movement to denounce the Divine Nine. Now, if this is your first time, the Divine Nine, the groups founded mainly at HBCUs, begin as a way to connect and build support networks. And I always say every week, you can't overlook that. Okay, the partying, okay, the drinking, all of that. But that's not why it was started. That ain't why it was started. It was started as a means of support and to build networks in the face of exclusion from predominantly white Greek letter organizations. All right, you got that? That's why. And I read that every week because we done got so far off onto the minors that take place. And that's every organization. Churches start for one reason and end up being something else. All right? So don't act like this is the only place where something ain't keeping its intended purpose. What's keeping its intended purpose? Because times are changing, people are changing, things are changing. But that doesn't mean that's the whole purpose of the organization. See, this is what I'm dealing with, this imbalance, this spirit. And I'm going to get into this today because the title of this one is Keep Your PP to Yourself. What do you mean? Keep your personal piety to yourself. Because a lot of this has to, in my opinion, a lot of this has to deal with personal piety, right? And I'm going to tell you what that is in just a minute. But I'm giving you the background. Did I tell you to like this? Did I tell you to share this? Well, if you're brave enough, do so. And, you can email me and I'll debate this any space in any place. See, one thing you have to know about D. Foster 3. What I say over this, I'm not a I'm not a keyboard gangster as some people. Now, what I mean by that, I'm not a gangster, period. Some people will say stuff behind a keyboard or a camera that they'll never say in person. I'll never put out there what I'm not willing to discuss in a personal venue. Why? Because first of all, I am convicted of what I say. I don't do reactionary videos. I don't do reactionary shows copying off of somebody because I don't know if they did their homework. And when I come before, I'm coming so strong and so long that I've got to be right because I'm going to bring it straight, no chaser. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you got it. You got it. So if you're looking for the weak stuff, if you're looking for the cup that's full of the ice, this ain't it, but there's plenty of it out there. All right. So here it is right here. The four sororities and the 5 fraternities known collectively as the Divine Nine make up the National Pan-Hellenistic. All right. As I mentioned on the last show, that this show and topic is neither, and this will be the final one today, it will neither be taken up for those or throwing shade to people regarding of what they're led to do. So if you said I'm led to, this show is not to throw shade for those who say that's not for me anymore. I've been a part of things and I've said that's not for me. But today I will continue finally to take issue and perhaps bring balance to the many lame excuses that I'm hearing of why people are denouncing their affiliations. And, you know, I think let me just drop this. I think it's extremely presumptuous to quantify any group of people into a single category. Okay, you may have crossed over with some drunks, but you don't have the right to label everybody that's associated with the Divine Nine as drunk. So you may have crossed over with some O's, but that don't mean everybody who crossed over is O's, right? So what I'm hearing is this immaturity, quantifying everybody that's a part in, for the most part, in the same category, and that's not true in any situation. I could say there are devils in the churches, and they are, but can I say everybody in the church is a devil? No, there's some lovely, sweet, nice people in the church. So keep the devils, and the saints, right? That's maturity, right? And plus, you don't know most people in the Divine Nine. So how can you, sir, ma'am, ex-sister, ex-brother, make an assumption when you don't know the 4 million people? See, this is what I'm talking. This is what I'm coming against. This, what is it? Presumption. This unanalytical presumption that something is some way because you experience a bad experience, or as I'm going to talk about today, you had an epiphany. And I appreciate your epiphany. I don't knock your epiphany. We all had an epiphany. And all my shows are not like this. I talk about a plethora of things, but I feel very strong about this because I am, if you know anything about me and what I'm called to do, I am intimately against anybody that is trying to persuade anybody to make a decision because they've made the decision. You know, it's kind of like, you know what I don't like? Let me tell you what I don't care for. You have friends like this. You have friends that they get an epiphany, right? And they're going to go vegan. Now, all of a sudden, y'all go out to lunch. Been going out to lunch for years. And you order you a nice steak. Now, you've ordered a steak before, and they've said nothing. But now, because they went vegan, when you order your steak, they're going to try to make you feel guilty. Yeah, bro, you know what that meat do to you? Yeah, same thing it did to me the last 10 times we went out and I got it, and you got one too. Bro, you know how long it takes steak to digest? Yeah, 28 days. I eat it knowing that. That's why I only eat it once or twice a year. Doesn't that irritate you? Or somebody who comes, y'all used to going out to having a glass of wine, excuse me, and all of a sudden, you know, they get an epiphany and they don't drink anymore. That's fine. I ain't got no problem with that. Whatever you do, that's you, right? But now you get a glass of wine. So what do you get out of drinking wine? Same thing I got out of drinking wine the last 15 times we went out together, and you had a glass too. So this is what I'm feeling. I said those examples. This is what I'm feeling with this big internet attempt to make people denounce their affiliation. You had a PP, a personal epiphany. You had a personal piety moment, and now you want us all to feel the same way. That's the pushback that you felt in this series, okay? Now, I've been dealing with some of the reasons week by week that I've been hearing the most. I'm not dealing with all of them because this is my last week on this. I think I've spent enough time and I've made my point. And if you're listening, I think you have enough information that I've given you that you can make up your own mind. I'm not telling you to or not to. I'm just saying think for yourself. So I began to push back on the first claim, and that was assigning false blame. Nobody made you join. You weren't an adult when you joined. I'm not going to go back. Look at the video for that, okay? It's amazing that you thought it good enough for you to join. What changed? And as I said in part 1, the organization never changed. You changed. Say that. Stop blaming the organization. Say, I've changed. We accept that. Number 2, I pushed back several weeks ago on the claims that these organizations are filled with demon signs and symbols. Okay? Go back and look at the video for my pushback on that. You got stuff in your house. You don't know where it came from. The fish god, what we call now, I talked about this, that's been turned into the sign of Christendom. But well, anyway, I'm not going to go waste my time on that. You go back, but I'm just listing, if this is your first time, some of the lame claims I'm hearing. The third one is, these organizations can't be of God because they got secrets. You got secrets. Your family got secrets. Everything ain't for everybody. Does that make it evil? No. Now, you just met, it ain't, last week's title was, it's family business. So we got a certain handshake. You got a certain sign. That's because there is a connection. There is a connection. And that's in everything. There's the fraternal order of police. You don't say, oh, that's a fraternity. You ought to quit your job. See, I'm pushing back on the hypocrisy. That's what I'm doing. You can't have it both ways. Let's have it across the board. Have a protest to get rid of the fraternal order of police. That's a brotherhood. That's a sisterhood. They have symbols. I haven't heard that protest. No, you're not going to hear it. Because again, we have this selective attack. That's what I'm pushing. Leave your church. Why? Leave your church. Because your pastor wears a robe that says Alpha and Omega. You probably didn't know that, right? On each stole, Alpha, AKA, is on his robe, right? I got one. Omega, signs. So tell your pastor, I can no longer be under you because you wear a robe. Y'all see what I'm getting at? You see what I'm getting at? Now, so let's kick it off. If like this, share this, follow this. I know. That's why. And see, I hear everybody talking about the denouncing, but I don't hear anybody, not too many people coming on as strong as a counter voice. I'm not taking up for any. I'm just coming on as a counter voice. So today I want to talk about keep your PP. This is the other excuse, the fourth excuse I've been hearing. Keep your PP, your personal piety, to yourself. Now, let me talk about this because I know this is where most people, when they're on the internet, they get real deep and real spiritual. And they talk about how God told them that they need to renounce, that this is why they can't get free from drugs and alcohol and sex. And I know a whole lot of people are part of the Divine Nine. They don't take no drugs. I know some that don't even drink and certainly don't hold around. So I had to stop you right there, right? That was your issue. That's your issue. It's cool. You got to do what you got to do to grow in God. We all do. But this personal piety, because that's what I'm hearing. A lot of PP, little PP, personal piety. Now, the result of often having a legitimate spiritual experience, you have to be careful. And I see a lot of jailhouse religion do this. You know, somebody who's just done rip through people's lives, dog people, I mean, stole from people, finally catches up with them. They get locked up. Oh, and they know God now better than everybody else. You notice they come out of jail and they start preaching to the people that tried to get them saved before they got locked up. Y'all know I ain't lying. Come on, y'all know I ain't lying. I call that jailhouse religion. I mean, it's better than nothing. But it becomes at a point personal piety. PP. Personal piety. Now, we all have religious experiences, or spiritual, I like to say, experience, where we have epiphanies. We come to ourselves, like Paul on the road to Damascus. We realize, okay, I need to go another direction. Y'all know I'm not knocking that. But because I realize, D. Foster 3 realizes that he needs to go another direction, don't mean everybody else going in the wrong direction, because now I become pious. I become, and this is what I'm hearing. You believe that your experience elevates your spiritual insights above others. Like, okay, I got this epiphany that this group is not for me. They drinking, they hazing, well, they stop hazing. They, all of these parties, and I got to really draw close to God. I get it. Do it. But then a lot of people with that personal piety, PP, steps in, and now instead of making that call their own, they want to make it everybody else's. Like, this ain't of God. Now, y'all been in this 10, 15 years. You got jobs because of it. You made, come on. This is my last series, so I got to go in. You networked. You got all the gear. First of all, I want to make sure you go down to the office, and I ain't going to have time to do a separate show with this. Leave right. Write a letter to your chapter, right? Come on. All the work you did. See, everybody wasn't naive when they joined, right? Okay, because they were adults. So all the work you did, all the lines, all the nights, all the days, all the harassment, and you walk off, good. But make sure you disown it totally. Write a letter, state your claim, take your jacket, get it out of your house, get the shield, the Sphinx out of your house, get all of the clothes because you want to totally disavow, right? Yes. You want to totally remove yourself. So there should be nothing. Give your certificate back. Why are you holding on to it? Say, I appreciate this. I give it back. Then I will believe that you are really serious and you thought about it. Other than that, you hanging on, put it in your closet, put it in the chest, is personal piety. And sometimes these legitimate experiences happen to us and we don't know how to handle it. So now we think our insight is elevated above everybody else. When you want to know the truth, you're finally catching up to the rest of us. Ooh, did he say that? You're finally catching up to the rest of. I didn't say any sorority or fraternity was perfect. Like no church is perfect. Everything that goes, all right, can I really keep it real? I think I will. This is my life. Everything going on in your frat, go on in church. It's just kept more quieter in the church. See, you don't want me to go there, and I don't have time to, but you get it. You may not know about it in the church because there are cliques in the church. There are fewer cliques in the Divine Nine. That's why we know everything that takes place, right? Just trying to bring some balance to stuff, right? All right. Matter of fact, some of them are more brothers and sisters than most churches. Yeah. Give me a brother or sister out of the Divine Nine first before you give one out of that organization. Yeah, I said it. I told you I don't have time to play games. This is too much work for me to play games, right? And I'm saying things that a lot of people think. They just That's why it's called the voice over. We speak over all the shenanigans and stuff, right? And our family is growing, so it may not be for you, but our numbers are growing every week. I don't push for subscribers. I don't tell you 1,000 times like it. I don't try to give you all the fancy stuff. You come here for the conscious content, not the bells and whistles. You don't come here for the bells and whistles because I ain't got them. I got the content. That's what I'm known for. That's what I give up, the content. I do my homework, right? All right. So this personal piety is what I've been hearing. You had a visitation and God told you that this wasn't good for your spiritual growth. Now, that's fine if you stop there, but now you think your epiphany elevates you above everybody else, and that everybody else is having the same experience. And this is what I take issue is, but they just don't know it. You just insulted people. Like, y'all don't know you engaging in demonic acts. You're bringing demons home. You can't get free. This is what I've heard. You can't get free from sexual sins. No, you can't get free from sexual sins. Say that. I couldn't get free from sexual sin. Don't say they. You don't know they. And share this with somebody who's denounced. Share it. They can't get free. How dare you insinuate that people are spiritually ignorant enough that they don't know what's going on, so they need you to awaken them. You say, he talking strong. Yeah, because they are. I'm matching the energy of the denouncers. Except I'm not using pity and guilt. I'm giving you fact. They on there crying, snotting, got the sad music behind them, trying to using God, this thing that people have been using for years, a God guilt. And I'm coming to say it ain't working. And don't let it work. All right, I got to go on because I got to talk about my big brother. Like this, share this. So you believe your experience elevates you above all others. And this is what I was feeling. That the denouncers kept attempting to convince those who were still apart that you had, here's the words. And I've listened to them very carefully. Because when I come on here, I come loaded. I do my homework. You have no clue what you are involved in and how the devil is deceiving you. You're not talking about everybody, are you? You're talking about you because you were deceived. That doesn't mean most people are deceived. There's some very intelligent doctors, attorneys, movers and shakers, politicians, apart, giving away, giving scholarships, making life better for people. And you just got a hold of the demonic part. Entryways. Because they never talk about the ones that I hear, what good. But I understand where that comes from. All right. So to you, as I close, I warn you. And yes, I'm a prophet too, so you probably hear a little bit of my prophetic edge coming out, which you don't usually hear doing these shows, because that's not what it's for. I do shows on everything, entertainment, sports, but this one got in my crawl, and I didn't hear anybody address. I waited several weeks after because the announcer's been coming out for a year, and I've been waiting to find somebody who stood in a counter voice, and everybody just wah mimic. So I said, let me deal with this and have my stuff out on the internet. And I gave you how to reach me. But to those of you who are dealing and trying to spread your PP on us, I warn you, your awakening is not an indication that everybody else is asleep. Ooh, what'd he say? I said you're waking up. We applaud you. Thank God. We all have to do it. We all have to become aware. But it doesn't mean my salvation is an indication that everybody else is lost and held down. I warn you, that's a type of judgment. That personal piety, that PP key that I'm asking you, and we're asking you, to keep to yourself. Some people wake up quietly. There are a lot of people who leave. But as I said in part 1, they leave quietly. They don't try to defame what has served them. I told you in part 1, I've been a lot of places and I'm no longer there. You don't know when I'm no longer there, because I don't go on the internet and try to blow up my situation. That's a lack of integrity. So everybody wakes up, but some people just wake up quietly and they go their own way. And they never say nothing about why they left. And they do it right. That's fine. Finally, I'll leave you with the scripture. Yes, and I don't do this here, but a lot of the people that I've heard denouncing are so-called, they're Christians. So I gotta leave you with your Bible, right? Leave you with your Bible. This is for those who choose to remain faithful and those who choose that it's not for them. This is for those who remain a part of the organization, and this is for those who said it's not for me. Romans 15:5. Don't you ever forget this. And this is where I close this series. Everyone should be fully convinced in his own mind. Pow! It's in your Bible, Christian. The denouncer, it's in your Bible. The one who's staying, it's in your Bible, Christian, if you're a Christian. Everyone should be fully convinced in his own mind. And you know what this debate was about? To give you background. So you won't say, oh, he's taking it out of context. No, I come with the context. They were talking about eating meat. It's not right. It's not wrong. However you convince. But it's a principle. And that's with everything in life. Unless it's illegal or God directly says and forbids it. Now, I have to say this, and I've been waiting all series to say this. Some of the preachers that are denouncing is because you can't get in. Because I heard some people who were denouncing applied for membership. And especially in AKA, they are very, first of all, Reverend, you have to have a bachelor's. Did he say that? See, I told you. Ain't nobody with this count of one. I heard a few people wanted to get in, but they couldn't qualify. So what do? You start denouncing. You know you want to be a part of the brotherhood. You know you want to be a part of the sisterhood. So when you ride around, you got on your tag and they go by and give you the signal, right? That it's nobody's business if they're not a part of it. So make sure your denouncing is not out of envy. It's like you like somebody growing up in high school, like a particular girl, your guy you like a particular a female you like a particular guy, and they reject you, and you get your feelings hurt. Then you start talking about it. Yeah, she ain't nothing. I had it. You know how that go. Well, that's a lot of that going on too. You can't help that these fraternities and sororities are selective. That's why they came together. Remember? To network, and support. You got some very sharp brothers. Ideas, movers and shakers. I told you, I know some. Listen, I don't want to call their names. They're in politics. They've helped me. They connect me. They have a broad range of connections. You don't want to be a part of that? Because some people still have standards. See, anybody can be a part of, don't take this personally. And it should be. Jesus said, whosoever will, let him come. A local church. You don't have to have no education. You don't have to have a certain background. That's fine. But there's some people who've made such accomplishments in life and they work very hard by God's grace that now, yes, they're part of a religious organization, but they want to be a part of something on a mental, psychological level, a think tank. So, hey, I don't knock their role. Neither should you. You just say, it ain't for me. I want you to like this. I want you to share this. I want you to follow this. And I'm open to hear from you. thevoiceovertheglobe@gmail.com. All right. Before we leave for today, I want to, again, if you really want to get the essence of the relationship that I and my big brother, Coach James Butch McAdams, had, I encourage you to listen to my audio podcast, which uploads live every Wednesday right here on WPB Media Networks. It's the Voice Over Today audio podcast. And for the next several weeks, I will be playing clips of our interview and sharing wisdom with you. Coach was one of the reasons that I was responsible for getting a great interview with Mr. Dale down in Alabama, who actually worked with Martin Luther King. And if you looked at our channel, Wake Up Global Networks TV, you saw that interview. I'll be airing that interview here soon. Follow us again, I forgot, on our Wake Up channel, Wake Up Global Networks. That's Facebook, WGNINCX. Wake Up Global Media is our Instagram. And on all of those, we post pictures of Coach and I. Coach was responsible for introducing me to former governor and their candidate, Larry Hogan, at an event, a fundraiser event. And to that, he introduced me to the governor at that time as his little brother. And I could go on, and I'm going to be talking about that. But I wanted to give the arrangements. Some of you asked for the arrangements of Coach James Butch McAdams, and it is tomorrow, the 13th, starting at 10 a.m. and the mass at 12 noon. The viewing is at 10 a.m. And this is going to take place at the Mount Calvary Catholic Church, 6700 Marlboro Pike in Forestville, Maryland. 6700 Marlboro Pike in Forestville, Maryland, tomorrow, Saturday, the 13th. The viewing is at 10 a.m. and the mass, the service, will begin at 12 noon. Now, if you're in the Baltimore area, there's going to be a viewing in Baltimore on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, July 16th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the United House of Prayer for All People. I used to go there when it was Our Lady of Lourdes. When I first came here, that was one of the schools, because we lived in the Ashburton area. And it's 3401 Edgewood Road on Liberty Heights Avenue. 34, it's on the corner of Edgewood and Liberty Heights, 2 blocks before you get to Hilton Street if you're going towards downtown. And so if you want to come locally, it's Tuesday evening, 4 to 7, a viewing only, no service, a viewing at 3401 Edgewood Road at Liberty Heights. My dear big brother, Coach James Butch McAdams, may he rest in peace. He leaves a legacy with all of us, and that was his passion, to help people understand the ingredients that should go into media. And he would often listen to my show and give me honest critique. And most of the time, he would say, little brother, you did that. Sometimes he would say, now, you may want to back off on that or not. And I was open, because Coach came behind Petey Green, Joe Madison, C. Miles, Eric St. James, and now many of us, my brother Darren Muhammad, we are permitted to catch the mantle of speaking truth to power. I don't do entertainment media. That's some people's thing. But if I entertain you, it's going to be while giving you truth, education, and facts. I'm your host, D. Foster III, and on behalf of myself and Wake Up Global Networks International, I want to say you have a voice. Keep lifting it. Peace.
Thank you for being a part of The Voiceover. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay connected to our upcoming shows and guests. Instagram at The Voiceover Radio. Twitter at DPropheticI. That's the letter D, prophetic, EYE. If this show has enriched you in any way, please share The Voiceover among your circle. Until next time, keep allowing your voice to be heard.